Good morning, friends, developers, and students. I'm going to make this video on cat command as well as zcat command. This is going to be a tutorial at my web university. On this video, I'm going to show you a number of ways that you can use the cat command, C-A-T, cat, and then also the zcat. So on those two commands, they are very much used. One is used for all kind of text file, cat, C-A-T, and the other one is zcat, which stands for zip or canzip files, compressed files that you can use the tar canzip file to just look at the content of those files there. And this is going to be a how-to on YouTube .com at my web university. My web university is the channel handle, so that's what is going to be done. And this is in the series of bash command lines and bash scripting. This is going to be helping you. I have a number of videos that I'm going to make on this list of topics. There's about more than 200 of them, and then I have already made a lot of them that are available at my web university, my YouTube channel. As you can see here, the list is on and on. If you just go under the list of videos, you will see that more than 1.2K of videos in the topic of computer science related courses, whether it's a full course on Linux Ubuntu, 6 hours, or Red Hat Linux 4 point some hours, and then Rocky Linux 3 point some hours, and Python programming, shell scripting, bash scripting, secure shell, Microsoft Windows stuff, and then Linux Ubuntu, Linux Rocky, Linux Red Hat, all kind of PDF, thousands of PDF files and documentation, technical documentation is all available here, and you're welcome to watch and subscribe and join and learn from it, and then it's going to benefit you in the long term for your school or for your development. So this is also my web university, my YouTube channel. I mean, my webuniversity.com, my website, that I also have YouTube videos that I'm going to put it there for people that they don't have access to YouTube directly to find it. They can just find it here. And then also this book that I wrote in the direct path to Linux Ubuntu. Basically, if you just make the font a little bit nicer here, the size of the screen is 67%, but because I have 13 chapters, the whole book is not fitting on this screen. If I just make it to zoom out, I have to zoom out or zoom in to just show you in a better format so you can see it on a YouTube video. So this book is also entirely online available. It's called The Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu. And each chapters, as I show you the commands, you have a chance to practice it without installing Linux Ubuntu server. And then you can just run it everything on my cloud at mywebuniversity.com. So when you run the practice commands, you can learn it online, as well as get documentation, manual pages, and also technical documentation, manual pages in a PDF format. So the PDF format is very, very unique to my website. I built it using Python programs, and you can just generate dynamically. For example, today I'm going to show you the zcat command. So if you come in here, and instead of if you just by default click on submit here, you will get the pages in PDF format for this command that you just have typed, like bash, and you can get the output here. But if you just say, instead of bash, let's say I want to get the cat command, then you could just say cat, and then you will see the cat.pdf format, and then you see all the options and flags and examples, everything all together. And then you can also go to any URL documentation, like a new licensing. I'll take you to that place. Then you come back here once you're done with the documentation reading from this. The nice thing about this PDF file, when I wrote it in Python and PostScript and all that options that I had to generate these files for you because you have to be sitting in front of a Unix machine or Linux machine in order to see these commands, like man, the command. Like if you're just connected to a Linux machine, you will be logged on a Linux machine and then just run it. Let's say, like, sorry, this is Windows, and I'm going to open this. So if you're on a Linux Ubuntu server here, you could just type in the command at the prompt once you log in. Let me just log in correctly. Sometimes it's harder to type at the same time when you're looking at it. So if you're on the Linux machine, in this case, I'm on a Linux Ubuntu server. So I could say, for example, let's say clear screen, man cat, manual of cat command will show this one, right? And then you can see similarly man zcat for compressed cat files. You can see that gunzip, all that information is there here with the options. But you don't need to do that one. You don't need to be installing a Linux machine. So I wrote everything on the web for you. I did the hard work, heavy lifting, weightlifting, and then now you just type in here. I showed you the cat. Now I'm going to show you the zcat. You just type in zcat here at your fingertips. And the luxury of sitting at home or in front of your cell phone or laptop or desktop or iPad, you just go to my web university, visit the URL, and you have internet access. You just click zcat and then get the output here in a nice PDF format. So the manual documentation is available for you online without installing any Amazon Web Services, Docker, or virtualization, or any Linux software on your platform. All you need is a browser and internet access. And then the rest of them will all happen to you at the tip of your fingers. So let's get started with the cat and zcat from this command line here. So without further ado, I'm going to just do the tutorial today that I was planning to do. So I'm on this directory, as you can see on the tutorial. My host name information, if I type in host name, it shows mywebuniversity.com. And since this is a Linux Ubuntu, I could say os-release. And then that would say Linux Ubuntu 22.04 long-term support, the name of the code Jammy Jellyfish. I've been showing this one. It's important for you to say that when you run a command, make sure you understand what operating system you're logged on. If you don't know where you are, you might be on a Mac, and then similar command that works on Mac, it's System 5 or Release 4 or System 7 based, or on the Linux or other ones. They are all kind of like Mac is Sun OS kind of BSD based. Sun Solaris and Mac OS BSD is based on BSD. But Linux, Rocky, Red Hat, everything, they have their own distribution, which is Fedora distribution. Linux Rocky, Linux CentOS, Linux Red Hat are all Fedora based. And then Linux Mint and Linux Ubuntu, they are kind of Debian distribution. So depending on the distribution, you just have to know what you're doing. Like here, os-release, and so notice I'm using the cat command here. The cat command itself is called concatenate a file. So if you say what is a cat, you can see that it is concatenating a file. But if I say file etc os dash star, then I say what type of OS files are there. You can see it's only one file called os-release. But if I say star-release, then I can see that there's more than one file called os-release. So let's look at the other one, which is lsb-release. So if I just do this and then without the listing, here you can say in a shorter form, you get that output. There's going to be other video that is going to show you that. So at this time, if I look at that one, I say cat etc, let's say lsb-release this time. lsb-release. And you can see the content of that file there. And if I just say, give me a little bit more information on that one, what type of file it is who has read-write access to it, all that permission, I can do that one. I can also do stack command, and that gave me some details of it. But those are going to be other videos that I'm going to show you, like checksum and SHA-1 and all those other commands that I did, like find and xargs. All of those commands are separate commands. Here, you're going to learn the cat command. So if you're looking at the content of cat command here, you can do cat file name. And then if you want to see the content of this file with a line number, you could do a cat -n. That's another file. Sometimes you want to just say inside that file, is there any invisible character or any all of the characters? There's only $, which means new line character. You can see the EA is showing you all the files on that list. If I just have this file with let's say run the same command with octal dam -c, you can see the new line characters are all showing /n. And then this one is basically new line character. If I vim this file, and then I say, show me that same file, but notice that the new line characters are not in here. So you have to do escape and shift colon and say set list, and then you see the new line characters there. So some of the files that are going to be demonstrated later, I'm going to just show you other files and I will modify them. This file, again, as lsb-release, is a system file, and then you have to be root in order to change content of that one. You don't want to tamper with the root file system because you may just inadvertently cause some issue. So don't do a modification on system files, and they are not supposed to be touched by demo or some thing that you're doing on development. So the best thing to do is that here I created this directory called tutorial, and I'm just doing ls-l. Notice if I do ls in short, this says demo and how to. Those two are directories. Notice this one is saying that it's a D here, that is directory. So when you do ls on the demo, you see the content of what is inside demo. ls-l to get a longer list of demo. And then if you do a ls-ld, obviously, you get it, just the directory names there and telling you that it's a directory. So why am I showing you this? It's important because of these files that are there. I'm going to just do a ls-l here. And now I'm going to just look at the how-to directory. So let's look at the how-to. There are some files that I already put it there, but I'm going to just go to the demo directory and make some new files as demo. And as demo. So on this one, let's look at the demo directory. I'm going to do that one on a different video on this one. So I'm going to go to demo here, clear a screen here, ls-l, and then I have some file here. I'm going to just, in addition to this one, I'm going to create a couple of more files here. Store, let's just forget about the demo also. I'm going to make a new directory under tutorial. So in here, I don't have another directory. I'm going to say make dir, just lowercase new. So now that new directory I just created, you can see here, right? It is empty. If I just say ls-l new, it is just saying 0 total. And ls new is also showing nothing. So there's no file here. So I'm going to cd to the new and say, let's create some files. So in order to use cat command, I could just cat the content of a file from some place and just modify it there. Let's just do a copy etc voice-release, and then say just put it here as os-release.txt. So I know I just create that file. So notice that the copy, because that file was readable by everybody, I was able to read it. So if I say cat os-release release.txt, I'm seeing the same file as if I say cat os-release, right? There's no difference between them. And if I just do a def between them, say use the def command here, def and then etc os-release and os-release that I did with the text, it is no difference. Echo $question is going to say there are 0 successful, no difference. But now I'm going to modify that file, os-release.txt here. And so I'm going to just add a line here, say, this is a simple test. And then I'm going to say this, and this is a tab. And then I'm going to just do Control V, pressing it, and then press tab. That will generate a tab. Then I'm going to say, this is tab, and then I'm going to say, that's one tab. Let's do 2 tabs. This is a second tab, Control V again, tab. So, and I say 2 tabs. And just to say some other character, Control M. So Control V and then enter. That would just to do a new line character like Control M, as if it's coming from a Windows machine here. So then I say a new line is coming, and then I just press enter here. So I say this is all a new line also. Notice that none of those characters except the Control M is just showing here. But if I just save this file and then vim it again, and now I have done it, I go set list. Notice that Control I, which is tabs, are showing here. And this Control M is also showing there. And every new line is showing this as a $sign here. Okay, so now I'm going to use cat command to show you the difference between vim, cat, and octal dump. Cat minus EA means show all of information. os-release dot text. Now you see that the Control M characters, cat detects that one. The new line characters detect that one. The Control M characters detect it. But if I just do the same command without minus EA, not showing everything and all, then I could just say, do this. Now the 2 tabs are just basically showing blank lines. The Control M is not showing anything right there, right? After the M, Control M is showing like a new line. But the new line characters, which is $sign and vim, it is interpreted as nothing here, but on the command. And when I did the -E option, cat minus EA, you will see that it's also $sign. That is end of line. Here, all of the end of line is not visible because I'm not doing the option of minus EA. So if I want to see the lines, obviously I could do minus E here, and then that would show this. But if I want to see all of them, including the tabs, then I say A. Now I can see the tabs and Control M characters as well. You see the difference? So E was showing you the new line character similar to cat default, but A gave you all of the information. So at the same time, you can also look at the content of this file by numbers. So you could see by line number by typing in. That would just generate the N as a new line character. So another thing is that you could do is, for example, the octal dump command that I was showing you earlier, octal dump minus C also print you the memory mapping address for every line, and then the actual ASCII text as well as the control characters like /tab/new lines. But notice the control I, which was on the vim and inside the cat command, or interpreted as /t. /t means it's like C programming or C++ or Java. That's just saying this is tab. And then for the control M, it shows you something like a carriage return /R, because that's one's coming from Windows. And then on another video, I showed you how to convert it using set on these files and then get rid of those characters, because sometimes you don't want to just have those files. But the topic of this one is cat and zcat, so let's go further with the cat command and the zcat. So this file, I'm going to just make another file called copy os-release. No, let's just create cat command, another file here. So I'm going to say cat command. You can also use the cat command to create file as if you're inside ed or vim or vi or emacs. So you could use cat concatenation of a file to read from a standard input, which is the screen, and then to standard output to a file, or a standard out to a display. So in this case, I'm going to say cat double less than sign, meaning that I'm going to do some sort of doc. Doc is like, I could put this one in the file, I could put Walid. Whatever name I put, I have to put the same information there. But usually you should put one kind of standard. So if you do automation, then you know that whenever you write to a script for system administration or other ones, you could just write one script to look for all the doc. That way you know what it is. If you just make your code, like I built a lot of things on my web university, so I have to make sure that 5 years from now, I don't have to just go and look at something that was hard coded or something. So I could dynamically generate like all these thousands of PDF files and know what my code was there, in order for you to develop and make sure that other developers understand your code, and they say that is elegant way of doing it or efficient way of doing it. You have to think of other developers as well when you're coding. So I'm going to just write the doc at this time, and then I'm going to say just say one greater sign, and then I'm saying that let's say test.text. So I'm going to say this is a simple test, and then I'm going to say hello world, peace to all. So let's say we write that one, and then now I'm going to write doc. You can also do Control D, which is going to end it. But when you do this one, it's better to write that one automatically now that the file is created. What you're doing with this cat command, you're using the command cat to generate this file with this content. And this is the double less than sign for the doc, and then closing it here. And this greater sign saying that create the file test.text. And now notice if I say word count minus L test.text, that one is 3 lines because there are 3 lines here, right? If I just do a word count minus C for content of it, how many characters are there? There are 50, and then you can see here there's 50 bytes file. So if I say octal dump minus C test.text, you can see that that file is actually having this, and then every time I have a new line characters, there's a /n after that 3 times, and that's the 3 times. And similarly, if I just want to see that one with cat command, I can say cat minus E, that would show the files with the end of line. But because I don't have any invisible characters, I don't have to worry about it saying that this is show me the invisible character. If I want to see line number, obviously I do cat minus N, and then I see the file. So that file is just created there. What if I want to write a script to just write the output of my command using cat into a script? So I'm going to write 2 simple script here. So let's do a cat command. We say cat less than sign, let's say at this time, instead of this one, I'm gonna say use end of file, like end of my file there, marker. But I'm going to use double greater sign, or I could use one greater sign. I will show you one of them, why I used one greater sign versus two greater sign. So if I say this one, I say s1.sh. Now, this file is s1.sh and it's going to be created. And if I say just run the command hostname, followed by the pwd, followed by id-un. So those command, and then I say end of file. And now notice that if I do a cat minus n, it's one.sh. On all of those three lines, or have written it to run these commands. The commands has to be valid commands when you're doing a cat, similar to writing a script, and then you are doing it. So one thing you could do is say, I want to say run it like this, I could say bash minus x s1.sh. The reason I say minus x is to execute this script and then just like in debugging mode. So this is the command, this is the output. This is the command, the plus in front of the command shows you that that's the command. If you just say run it with s1.sh, it says permission denied. Because why? Because the file itself, s1.sh, is not executable by the user or by the group or by others. So I say change mode plus x plus x, and then s1.sh. Now I run this script listing. Now notice it's read write executable by everybody. I mean, read write execute by owner and by group, but the other people only have read and execute. So that means everybody could execute the script, and then it will run it there. Cat minus n is s1.sh. It shows the content, and then s1.sh. It will run it. Another way that you could do something similar. So if you just do this command here, and then let's say you want to append to that file, all the commands are here. I just use double greater sign here. And then this means that in addition to these commands, you have to just say add, it just added that command twice because I did not modify it to add only one line. So now if I look at the cat minus n, it's s1.sh, it appended, this one was already there because I used double greater sign, it appended to the file twice. So instead of 3 lines, it is 6 lines. Okay. So now if I just want to say them, let's say s1.sh, and then I remove some of these commands, I can always modify it through them and other ones, but I'm going to show you through cat this. So cat s1.sh, I'm going to just this time append to it. So that file already exists and it has that content, and I can say s1.sh, it will run this one, but I want to just change something there. I could use set command to do it, but I'm going to show you cat. I could use Vim, I could use a lot of other tools, Emacs, but Nano, but let's just modify using cat. So I say cat, and then less than sign, and then I'm going to say, I could say dog, doesn't matter what I say. And then I'm going to just append it. So I'm going to say double greater sign. It's $1.sh. And then this time I'm going to write the calendar command, the date command, and then who command. Those 3 commands, I'm going to add it, and then I say dot. So now I have 6 commands: hostname, pwd, id, -un, followed by the calendar, date, and who. And then if I just want to verify it, I say cat minus n, it shows those commands there. And if I just want to run s1.sh, it will run those commands. So the first command was hostname, my web university, pwd was that one, and then Wahid. If I want to see the content of them, to see what command executed, I could do shell minus x or bash minus x or corn shell minus x. I will run it on that shell because these are all valid shell, bourne shell, corn shell command, doesn't matter what shell you're, it will execute it there. So this is one way you could do it. Another way on the cat command, you could just say, let's use cat command to run the command and write it to an output file, as if you're scripting it there with the output only. So what you do is, I'm going to say cat double listed sign again. This, let's call it doc, and then double greater sign. I'm going to append it to the. Even though this file is $2, so it doesn't exist. When you're doing the first time greater sign, if the file exists, it overrides it. But when you do double greater sign, if it doesn't exist, it creates it, and if it exists, it appends to it. So I'm going to just be precaution and say, if somebody, I'm doing on multiple directories, I just don't want to overwrite something. I'm going to just append my list of commands. So s2.sh is blank right now. I'm just creating it. So let's do, like, for example, what command we want to do. Let's say we say cat minus n etc s1.sh. Not this etc. And it's in this directory, it's $1.sh. We just want to do ls minus ld is $1.sh. And then I'm going to say, let's just do a checksum on this $1.sh. Let's do a SHA-1 sum on this $1.sh. So the stat is $1.sh. You can run a number of commands, right? File is $1.sh. So now you did this one, and then at this time I'm done with it. I say dot. So those lines, if I just say cat minus n is $2.sh, you can see that it is those commands there. All of that one is there. But again, this one was not creating it, the output. So what I wanted to show you is to create it in the output there. So if I just run this one, it's $2.sh. It says permission denied, change mode, and 755. Last time I used u.x, and now this time I'm using the octet, which is the same thing as u plus x. In this case, it's $2.sh, and then now run it. This is going to run the output here on it's $2.sh. And then bash minus x is $2.sh will show the command as well as the output. So now this time I'm going to do some command here, and then just run generate ms3 a way that you could just get the output only. So cat and double listing sign, I'm going to say doc, and then double greater sign is $3.sh. So now we did the $3.sh, and then we say, let's run the only cat minus n on s2.sh, and s1.sh, and then s2.sh. Actually, because I want to run the command, I'm going to do backtick cat minus n s1.sh and s2.sh. Since both the files are there, I could just do that one. And at the same time, I'm going to do another backtick. I'm going to just say backtick on the next one. I'm going to say gunzip s1.sh, and then I could follow by s2.sh, and then just that. And let's say gunzip those two files also. At this time, I'm going to say doc, and notice that cat s3.sh is going to show you actually the output of the commands rather than the content of it. So you can see that cat minus n is $1.sh is displaying this command, 6 of them up to here, and then it's $2.sh up to this one. And the zcat is already run, so now the files is $1.sh star star is s star and is 2 dot s star. You could see that the files are now in gunzip format. So you could also do this command instead of s1.sh and everything. you could also say S question mark dot S star. This will just give you the same information, including S3. You could see the content of it. If you want to just see S1 and then 2 only, you could just say here 1 dash 2 regular expression. So then you could see only that 2 files. But what's important here that these 2 files, you can say, give me a type of these files. And then they say that this is not found because it's the Ganze format. But I could get a file of it. This is, say, Ganze format. So when you do a Ganze format file of it, you could do this one and you could say, give me stat on this file, this type of file. It will give you all the information here. So now I'm going to introduce you to something that when you're looking at the Ganze files, how do you read the Ganze file here? So if I just use the cat command, it says this is a compressed file. It's in a compressed format, as you can see here, last modified, and it's a compressed Ganze format, right? So these 2 files are there, and then the timestamp and statistic shows there. So I'm going to just do ls minus l here to show you that we have S1 through 2 star that would show these 3 files, right? Wildcard star meaning that I don't care what is followed after, and just show me all those 2. So when you do this one, if you want to see a shorter form, you just do ls, and that would just do that. And then at this time, let's say you liked it and you say, I want to see the content of those files, what type of file it is. So the first thing is that zcat is the command. If you say, what is cat command, it tells you that it's concatenating files. But if you say, what is zcat, it tells you this is compressing and expanding files. And so the zcat is for Ganze, Tor Ganze file format. So what is that tell you? If you do ls minus l here that we did here, it give you a long listing of the file. But if you say, give me some more information rather than ls minus l, say what type of file it is there, you did the file, right? It says compressed Ganze. But instead of this file, let's do a zcat minus L, meaning that list them and then give me the compression and uncompressed, the ratio, and then all the details of this Ganze file, what type of file it is, what is inside of the file name that our concept is $1.sh and is $2.sh. So ls minus L is there for the short form. If you do double L for long term, you could also use long listing. The word dash dash list will just be replaced to dash L. There's other formats that you want to see on this one. So if you say zcat, and instead of this one, you just say zcat by itself, the Ganze file contents are going to be displayed. If you don't put any argument, it's the option of dash C and dash D, like C means like displayed on the screen, a standard output, and then D means decompress it, so I can see the content of it. So now notice that I'm showing both files, but if I just want to show one of the file, like say zcat minus L and then s1.sh.ganzip, you can see that file. And if you want to see the content of that one, you just say zcat dash no argument is just telling you that. If you want to just give it an argument here, minus n would give you with the name, and then minus c would give you also the same thing with the display standard output, and minus d also, and then cd would be like this. So the shortest form is dash no argument, and then that would display it there. If you want to see like line numbers, you can say word count minus L, and it tells you that the number of lines are there. And if you just say cat minus N, that would actually do on this line, each line shows you the line number. So you can use zcat with the cat command and then minus N, and you see the more detail on it. So with the Ganzip and zcat, there's a number of other options. So if I just want to show you some of the man zcat, for example, options that you can use, that you can come in onto a Linux server and read it, or go to my website. I showed you the PDF files. You can see the ASCII and default one, and D for the decompressing it, and then C for standard output. I showed you already. -L to list it. I showed you this one, and then the license, obviously, and then the quiet mode, recursive. If there are subdirectories, you could do that one. Similarly to the concept, recursively. And then there's more options. So if you just want to see, for example, zcat dash version, obviously it will tell you the version of zcat information and then other details there. I hope these kind of videos are going to help you. I'm going to make more videos and more to come, because I have more than 200 of these PDF files already generated. Some of them I have already made it, whether it's beginners or advanced or intermediate or any kind of courses. So you're going to learn a lot from it, and then just join our channel. And then whether you're reading it from my web university, my entire book online is available for you. So if you go on here and then chapter 2, this is chapter table of contents, and chapter 1 through chapter 13 is there. So for advanced users, just go to chapter 13, chapter 4, and then start learning all these commands. I show you the output. You can run it even on my system. So like, for example, I was showing you the system command on chapter cat command. And right here, you can see this is the chapter 4, and these are the videos for chapter 4. For each of these rows, I have already made videos for you to watch it. So you don't need anything. Like, all you need is a browser. And then online learning is made at your fingertips. You just click on a button, and then you start learning, watching videos and reading documentation, manual pages, documentation, so on. So let's say you go on chapter 2, the basic of Linux command. Let's see, on chapter 2, I have the cat command right here. So if you say cat command, what does it do? This is how I teach you. For example, I said made it easy for you. I just wrote it in a way that as if you're sitting in a browser and you're clicking like as if you're sitting in front of a Windows machine. All you need is a browser and internet access. You just say, what is cat? And then it says concatenate files and print. So you're reading the what is section of the cat command. And then some examples that I showed you, a lot of them today. Some examples, you can practice it online yourself at my cloud. And then also get the manual pages on the command if you want to get it in a text format or HTML format. The PDF format, I already showed you on chapter 12. But let's say you say, what is this cat -n etc network do? You just click on it, and it says that you choose this command, and here's your output. So I run the command on my Linux server, I display it on your browser. It's very cool. Like here, cat etc -n etc OS release. Notice the same information that I was showing you earlier is displayed here. So it's dynamic. It's not static anything here. Everything, I just write a program to just run the command on my server. I display it on your browser. And then the output of these commands, like for example here, I'm concatenating 2 files together. So one of them is some lines, and then I start the next one concatenated, appended to the end of it. So that's line 1 through 14, but that's actually the content of OS-release and etc network. And notice that OS-release, if you do it by itself, it is with the -n, do we have it? Yeah. -n OS-release was about 12 lines. And network was about maybe 5 lines, 2 lines. So the 2 of them together appended to at the end of each other. And then if you want to go to manual pages, go here and then read the whole manual pages here. And then you say, well, this is showing me cat. What about zcat? I thought of that one. I could just type zcat and then it will tell you the zcat. And if you say, what about z mode? So any command that is actual syntaxically correct, you will get the manual pages. What about ganzip? So you just type it in and it does that. If you don't like an HTML format or something, just go to the PDF format and then, and depending on the release of the Linux, Rocky, Red Hat, or anything, let's say you want to go to Rocky, you just click here. And then if you say, well, I want to learn Rocky Linux, I have about 11,000 technical documentation of Rocky, all in PDF format. So you say, let's search for cat. Notice there's a lot of them, but because cat is a section 1, you could say cat.1, and then you just right away jump into the PDF file for that one. And then this is produced by my web university, my website, Python programming language, Linux Ubuntu manual pages, and free PDF that I wrote all of it together. And then I put some shell scripting to just put the entire manual pages for you. Some people that they found this one, they say, sir, this is inspiring my life. It's going to help me. Honestly, that's what my intention is, to just make your life easier. Because when I went to college, none of these things were available. None of them were just, it was so expensive to go to college and buy all books and everything. And now you don't have to buy books, so you can just read it like I learned the hard way. But and now I'm making it so easy for you to just come in at your fingertips and you can just read the entire manual page. And if you're looking for Red Hat, similarly. So let's say on Red Hat, you Control F and say cat.1 and just look at it. There's 2 of 6 of them, so I have to look the one that I'm looking for, and then cat fc-cat, and then cat1, cat2, bz binary zip file, I believe it is. Let me just look at the one, yeah, systemd.cat.1 could be also similar to that command. So now that is actually a systemd command. So let's see, Control F and zcat. Yeah, bzcat is similar, binary zip file, and then general, and you can see bzip and bunzip is similar to this. But if I look for ganzip, zcat, I typed zcat, I believe. Let me do a search. Yeah, I typed zcat. So you could search for, depending on the OS model, you could search for any of them that are there. Let's say on the Linux Ubuntu, for example, if you want to comment on the PDF file, you can search it here. And then I just did this one. If you don't remember the commands, you can come in and search for a particular one, say zcat. Then you could find out if the zcat is found. Well, at the time that I generated, if the file was not there, it's not gonna come up here. Notice that the version that I did at the time, maybe, and that's why those ones are not available. Similarly, one are available here. So some of them that are there, let's say for the cat, I'm gonna go to fc-cat.1 and then fc-cat read font information cache file. That's a different command. So let's see, Control F and then cat cat.1. I'm gonna search .1. Okay, so when you're on the Linux machine, on Linux Ubuntu, let's see what section is going to be produced here. I believe it's section 1, but let me just make sure. The way to know that one, you can get it from the Linux manual pages, or you could say clear screen, where is cat command. That command says that cat.1 is the ganzip file on the user share man, and then you could say man cat will give you section 1 of them. You can see section 1 right here. Also, if you just say man minus S1 cat, it will just print the same thing. So there's no other section about that one. However, on this one, which zcat, you can see it is installed under zcat. So where is zcat, it tells you that the share man pages should be on zcat.1. Man zcat, it tells you that there. So this is my other machine there. Let me just open on this one and say on this is actually my production machine on my web university that I can do man zcat and then the displays output. So that means it's going to find it. And then the command at the time that I generated those PDF file was a few years ago. So it could be that at that time was not up to date because I was hosting it on another location, and now I'm doing it different way. So now you can look at this dynamic, and then since I found it on my site, dynamically I could say zcat here, it will just generate it for you. I just generated on the fly with the program, and it gives you the output of zcat. So, and then this one is also section 1, right? It shows gunzip, gununzip, and then zcat. So the zcat itself, it may not show as the command. So the way you look at it on that section, when I said it may have not been there, it was always there because it is under the gunzip and gununzip. So if I just search for gunzip here, gunzip, it is also going to find it because gunzip and gununzip is already there, and zcat is one of them. So the manual pages of zcat is similar to gunzip and gununzip, and zcat is one of the options here that it shows you with all of that detail and the parameter. So if I go back to my website here and say, for example, look for the whether I look at it on Ubuntu that was not showing, and I say that it's not there, but it is actually there. So instead of typing in Control F here or zcat, you just say gunzip gzip, and it will just show gzip.1.pdf, and notice that it is a zcat is there. Because when I wrote the program, I just parsed everything that is on user share man pages. There's thousands of technical documentation, right? So if I just do a word count minus L, this one is only 36 directory. But if I do a uppercase LS, it's 9,187 just on Linux Ubuntu. So on the shared man pages of the one with the gunzip or with the zcat, you could say here, say grep minus I, let's say zcat. It is just showing you that zcat.1.gunzip is there, but it is actually point symbolic link to gunzip. So when you're searching for the gunzip, it will find that one. And similarly, if I just do a gunzip, I will get actually a file. Gunzip, I don't get a symbolic link. Gunzip is actually a file. And then gununzip is symbolic link to gunzip. So the manual pages is going to open this file, whether you type in zcat or gununzip or zcat. This is why it's good that when you're a developer, you know how other developers write their code. And just on the fly, I could figure out that problem. I'm not bragging about on the fly or something. Please don't misunderstand it. But I'm saying that you could just get into your education, through your experience. You could get to a level that you could read other people's code much faster than somebody could just have to explain it, the detail how it is written. Because when good developers write code, it's much easier for you to just translate that one. If you write your code very, very cryptic, like the old days when we were writing it in Perl and other things, even though Perl and Aachen did awesome work, there were a lot of cryptic stuff that you could read at the same code 6 months down the road. You say, what was that code doing at that time? Even though you wrote it yourself, you didn't cut and paste. But in one line, you have 10 different ways to filter out some arguments there. And then 6 months down the road, nobody's going to remember why you named that variable that short string, and SF, what does that SF means? Or SB, what does that SB means? Anything that you name it, you cannot write documentation for every line. But writing a program in Python, for example, which is also written in C, C is the mother of all languages. So it helps you to write clear, easier code and much more concise. God bless you all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you go to our channel. And if you're Persian or Afghan, speaking Farsi language, I have videos for you for my mother country, Afghanistan. I was born in Afghanistan, and I love Afghanistan. And I'm making these videos for the Afghan people and Persian people, Iranian and Tajikistan. And so I can understand Farsi, and I speak in Farsi. I went to high school, Habibi High School, till 12th grade before I was in Afghanistan was invaded, and I had to leave during the Russian war in 1982, Afghanistan, and then went to Pakistan, and then I stayed there a couple of years, and then as refugees, and then immigrated to the United States. It was tough. Well, just now I'm there helping you guys. God bless you all. Just help yourself and help your community. Peace in the world, and just make sure you help the community. Whatever you can offer somebody else that is in more needs than you do, please help out. Take care. God bless you. Bye bye.